Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the new Godfest that has just gone live in North America. So, there are Super Godfest, and there are these kind of like events. I don't know if they call it a Godfest necessarily, but basically it's revamping the Rare Egg machine to have a bit better stuff overall. In the case of this current event, it's going to cost 5 magic stones, so half the price of a Super Godfest. And for comparison's sakes, a Super Godfest will feature at the very worst 33% chance for any Godfest exclusive. That rate can go higher along with other possible collateral benefits and whatnot. What makes this event appealing is obviously the lower magic stone cost, so each roll costs half the price, but you're much more likely to be disappointed because the rolling rates won't be obviously 1 in 3. At the same time, it will be introducing a brand new 7-star Godfest exclusive who is tremendously powerful, along with a reasonably nice lineup overall, including like the buff Mieda, Albrecht if you still haven't got him, and Fagan Rai as well, along with Cecilia. So basically, you should take a look at the displayed rolling list, and it might give you a bit better idea of what you could possibly roll, and just a matter of like, are these Godfest exclusives that are meaning to yourself. But with that being said, I want to take a look at the brand new 7-star Godfest exclusive, Noctaria. So she is a transforming card who has no skill boost upon entering the dungeon, which is obviously a bit of a drawback, but you have super blind resist throughout the whole dungeon, so that is kind of cool too. It takes 23 turns to transform, so we definitely can do that. Like, we do have leaders who take longer to transform, so we definitely can hit 23. And when you do transform, you get 3 turns of 50% damage reduction. I'm not sure if that 50% damage reduction can truly be leveraged that well, because once she does transform, there's a good chance that was the last person who needed to transform, so you're just going to start going anyway, so may or may not be as relevant. As a leader, you have a 7x6 board naturally, and this is great because all your multipliers will be on 7x6, and in all honesty, I feel like Rainbow, to a certain extent, truly wants to have 7x6 because it will greatly ease the chances of you being orb trolled by not having your specific colors. And in the case of Noctaria, you need to have fire, water, and dark orbs every single turn in order to function. And once she does transform, you can retain those 2 skill bind resists. You have that super blind still. You have 3 of the boost attribute 3 awakenings and a VDP. So I mentioned beforehand like how they're kind of like fake rainbow cards in the sense that like you're going to be playing monocolor with just the correct sub attributes included on the team because you want to take advantage of that VDP awakening, because if you don't, you're going to have to bring void damage void actives, which is definitely a bit of a drawback for rainbow teams, and you're also just missing an entire awakening. You're just only using a card of 8 instead of 9 awakenings. It's definitely a bit of a drawback. Her attack set is quite large as well, so she's going to be hitting a spectacular amount of damage on a regular basis, and her active skill once transformed is a 3-turn cooldown that gives you 3 turns of 1.5 times orb movement time. So say you had 10 seconds of orb movement time. Now it's 15 seconds, and because it lasts for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, you have 100% uptime on it. You also get to create a single spinner every turn, 1 spinner that spins every second for 3 turns. So on a 7x6 board, a single spinner is actually quite valuable, especially when your movement time has been bolstered upwards, because you're then able to fish out the required orbs. So like, even though you must match fire, water, and dark orbs every single turn, that one lone spinner can probably allow you to fish out the needed orbs as necessary because you have all this extra movement time, and it also will clear other spinners in a given dungeon. Let's say the spawn give you multiple different spinners. Using Noctaria's active will clear all the spinners and just replace it with your 1 single spinner. So quite a large amount of value right there, and at the same time, it's a great sub if you don't want to use them as a lead. They can definitely function on teams that have at least multiple different colored attributes for her to take advantage of it. And as a leader, you need to use dark type cards, which is easy enough to do. You get your attack multiplier and your damage reduction when you match fire, water, dark, and you also get 2 bonus combos. So we want to pair her with someone that gives auto follow attack as bonus combos once auto follow attack is their friend. You've already got 7x6, and in fact Gojo from the current JJK collab is a wonderful match made in heaven because both these leaders want to match fire, water, and dark. They're like those kind of pseudo-y, monocolory, rainbowy leaders because they only want 3 specific colors, which is definitely a bit more restrictive in a sense because with other rainbow leaders, they need any 4 colors, which in turn makes it a bit easier to activate. But again, with the 7x6 board, with the constant spinner, you're going to be able to proc your leader skill on a regular basis, and your multipliers become quite magical. You have 5 times health, 500 times attack, great stuff overall. You will have a permanent 1.5 times orb movement time as well. You also have 57.75% damage reduction, which is healthy when you consider the fact that you have 5 times health. And you also get the bonus 2 combos and 10 million auto follow attack. And 10 million auto follow attack is great because it lets you bypass various things like Grandis and Shura 3 or Saria and Mystic Dimensions. Both of those can be overcome with exceptionally large auto follow attack with relative ease, and this is definitely going to make your life a little bit easier. You remember, 7x6, bonus movement time, a spinner that's going to help you fish out your right colors. You've got quite a strong team overall that is bulky enough and can dish out enough damage. And remember, you're kind of playing a pseudo-rainbowy, pseudo-monocolory team, so your damage output will probably be quite strong for the most part. So populating a team with mono-dark, like dark cards, have something with a blue sub-attribute, doesn't matter who it is, just put someone with a blue sub-attribute, and you're going to have quite a good time overall. You just need to add in RCV and attack buffing, and you've got everything covered in that sense, along with, like, say, poison resistant cloud is needed and jammers. Point of the matter is, quite a strong leader. Obviously, it's going to be nice to acquire, but at the same time, it will be challenging to roll. So, looking at the lineup that we can possibly acquire, I counted it all up. You can double check, but I'm quite sure I was right counting. For any 7-star Godfest exclusive, there's an 8.75% chance to roll one. For a 6-star Godfest exclusive, there's a 9% chance to roll one. So the total Godfest exclusive rate is 17.75%, which in theory is a bit higher than the 33% chance due to the half-stone cost, but of course that's not how rolling rates truly work. At the same time, there are some ex-Godfest exclusives including Red Sonja, Erd, Sumire, and Verdandi who are also available, and I mentioned those along with Avalon Drake because the former Godfest exclusives have useful and actually quite strong weapon assists. Like, they can potentially plug in various holes on a given team because they are useful for the most part. And then Avalon Drake is just actually a strong wood card for Nautilus teams. Like, it just works so well. So I just decided to kind of lump those in, but those don't actually count towards the total Godfest exclusive rate because unlike Godfest exclusives, if you roll these cards and it's like your 4th or 5th duplicate, they don't serve much purpose. Whereas getting like your 7th, like, 6-star Godfest exclusive, whoever it could be, let's just take one at random. Let's just say you roll your 7th Dark Metatron. You would have been happy in 2014, but today you can still just utilize them as trade fodder, so it's not a bad thing. So whether or not to roll in this event really kind of comes down to your individual monster box needs. Do the Godfest exclusives listed here have appeal to you? And especially do the ex-Godfest exclusives and Avalon Drake have appeal? Because if you add those two things together, you have a 23-ish% chance of actually rolling something of value for yourself for 5 Magic Stones, which is actually not too bad overall. At the same time, we still have the JJK collab event going on, and at the same time, it does feature tremendously strong cards at the 7-8-star rarity, but again, the rolling rates will probably be against you, unfortunately. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about this Godfest or this special Rag Machine event in the comments down below. Do you think it's worth rolling it? And if you did roll, was it a fruitful venture? Regardless of all that, hopefully you all have a truly fantastic day. I wish you all best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.